Dear listeners, today I bring you a tale. Not of courage, not of wisdom, but of power gone terribly wrong. This is the story of Idiamin, the man who ruled Uganda with an iron fist, believing he was invincible, unstoppable, and even irresistible, even to Queen Elizabeth II of Britain. But in the end, he died in exile, far from the land he once ruled, a forgotten tyrant whose own people celebrated his downfall. And why? Because power without wisdom is like a fire. It burns everything, even the one who lights it. Let's go back in time. It was the 1970s, and Uganda was under the rule of Idiamin Dada, a man who loved power more than anything else. He had once been a soldier, a man of strength, a leader in the army. But when he took control of the country, something changed. He began to see himself as greater than any leader in the world. He started giving himself strange, grand titles, calling himself the conqueror of the British Empire and even the King of Scotland. One night, he sat in his palace, staring at a letter he had written. But this was no ordinary letter. It was addressed to Queen Elizabeth II of Britain. He had written, "Your Majesty, I believe you need a strong man by your side. Let me be your husband, and together, we will rule Britain and Uganda as one great empire." Now, my friends, what do you think happened? Did the Queen accept? Did she respond? No. The Queen and the British government ignored his letters completely. They saw him for what he was, a man lost in his own illusions. But Amin, he took this silence as an insult. His ego was wounded. He began mocking Britain, staging fake military parades, and even declaring himself the real ruler of the British Empire. But here's the thing. While Amin was busy living in his fantasy world, Uganda was falling apart. His enemies disappeared overnight. Innocent people were thrown into prisons, never to be seen again. His own soldiers lived in fear, not knowing when he would turn against them. One day, he had a dream, a terrible vision that some of his army officers were plotting against him. The next morning, without any proof, he ordered them all to be executed. And just like that, his own people started turning against him. Then, in 1978, he made a mistake that cost him everything. He decided to invade Tanzania, believing he could expand Uganda's borders. But Tanzania fought back hard. Their army, along with Ugandan rebels, marched straight into Kampala, the capital. Suddenly, the man who thought he was invincible was running for his life. Where could he go? Britain? No, they laughed at him. Libya? No, they refused him. Finally, Saudi Arabia agreed to take him, on one condition. You will live here quietly, no more politics. No more speeches, just disappear. And so, Idiamin, the self-proclaimed King of Scotland, the man who once ruled Uganda with fear, spent the rest of his life swimming in a luxurious Saudi Arabian pool, telling stories of his greatness to those who cared to listen. But the world had already moved on. His words carried no weight. His stories echoed in empty halls. The man who once commanded a nation now ruled over nothing but fading memories. Then, in 2003, at the age of 78, death finally came for him, not in battle, not by assassination, but through kidney failure. He spent his final days in a coma in a Saudi hospital, surrounded by silence. The man who once commanded a nation now lay powerless. There were no grand ceremonies, no state honors. His name was a curse in Uganda, his memory a warning. My dear listeners, history is full of lessons, and the story of Idiamin teaches us this. Power without wisdom is dangerous. Amin had strength, but he had no kindness, no wisdom, and so he lost everything. A leader who rules with fear will never be truly respected. His people clapped for him when he was strong, but celebrated when he was gone. Ego can destroy even the mightiest of men. Instead of focusing on his country, Amin was too busy trying to impress Britain, giving himself foolish titles, and imagining love letters from the Queen. A true leader serves the people, not himself. Had Amin been a kind and wise ruler, he would have been remembered as a hero. Instead, he became a joke in history. And so, my friends, the choice is ours. Will we lead with wisdom, kindness, and courage? Or will we be like Idiamin, powerful for a moment but forgotten forever? The answer is in our hands. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Unique English Stories, for more amazing content.